On the topic of abortion and trying to defend it, politicians and presidential candidates are resorting to a concept that to me it's irrelevant. And this concept is the late-term abortion and even suppressing babies after they're born. So this was brought up at the presidential debate a few weeks ago.
Previous governor of West Virginia, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby.
I wanted to discuss it and to comment it at that time, but I didn't have this chance. But it was repeated a few days ago by the presidential candidate Kamala Harris at a controversial podcast that it's called Call Her Daddy, and she mentioned that.
I do want to clarify something. In the debate, former President Trump claimed that some states are executing babies after birth. Can you just clarify?
That is not happening anywhere in the United States. It is not happening, and it's a lie. He is suggesting that women in their 9th month of pregnancy are electing to have an abortion. Are you kidding? That is so outrageously insulting.
This is irrelevant, and I'm going to explain why in a few minutes. But before we get there, I'm sure that you all agree, and if you don't, please leave a comment down below or make a video and tag me so I know what you think. This was not brought up to defend the topic of abortion, but was brought up to ridicule former President Trump's statement that babies are being terminated after birth. And we all know that Trump, makes these hyperboles sometimes to express his thought, but this time this was not made up out of thin air, because this is actually one Democrat, former governor of Virginia, actually in an interview suggested that this could be something to be considered, to suppress baby after they're born if the parents decide so, together with the doctors.
There was a very contentious committee hearing yesterday when Fairfax County Delegate Kathy Tran made her case for lifting restrictions on third trimester abortions, as well as other restrictions now in place. And she was pressed by a Republican delegate about whether her bill would permit an abortion even as a woman is essentially dilating, ready to give birth. And she answered that it would permit an abortion at that stage. Do you support her measure and explain?
When we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable. So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mothers.
You probably know already that in at least 9 states in the United States, including New Jersey, where I'm recording from, and Minnesota, where the vice president candidate is governor of, there are laws that allow abortion without any restriction in time. So whatever the pregnancy moment is, that is, you can abort if you decide to do so. So what does it mean? What is the difference between suppressing a baby 1 minute after he or she is born, or the moment before the presumptive birth moment? So you tell me, but I was born at 36 weeks. My children were born at both at 41 weeks of pregnancy, which is 1 week after the end of the 9 months. Why? Because their mother's body didn't want to start the delivery, so the doctors had to induce the delivery, first pharmacologically, it didn't work, and then surgically. So they were born with a C-section because their mother's body didn't want to push this baby to life. But everything went well. It was still a surgery, something that is pretty serious medical stuff. Now, say that a woman, a person, decide at the 36 weeks, like the week I was born, or at the 38th, the 40th, the 32nd, the 31st. Okay, I going through some hardship. I cannot keep this baby because I cannot afford, I'm stressed, I'm depressed, or I didn't want this baby in the first place, and I want a divorce. I go to the clinic, what happened? How this kind of abortion looks like? I'm gonna tell you. Basically, the first thing that they will do, they will make sure that the little heart of this thing in the mother's womb stops beating. And there is a little heart because the moment before I was born, at 36 weeks, I had a little heart. And here I am, so 50 years and later. Now, after this heart is stopping, and the doctor will make sure about that by ultrasound or just by guessing, they will start taking out the thing, what is left of this thing, out of the mother's body. That could be basically chop it off because this is too big at this stage of the pregnancy. I will try not to be very graphic. They will chop it off, this stuff, and take limb by limb and piece by piece this thing out of the mother. Or in a lucky case, we'll try, like they try to do with my children's mother, to induce a delivery. And so this mother, even she doesn't want the baby, but still will need to deliver this baby with pain, with the trauma, with a stressful experience anyway. And so you're not sparing this mother from a delivery anyway. So this is what is going to happen, but with the point that the little heart need to stop beating. I give credit to her, says this thing don't happen actually, that a woman, after all she's gone through to have a baby, decide to get rid of this baby at the 7, 8, 9 month of pregnancy. This doesn't happen. Okay, so you probably wouldn't mind if we put in a law, say, okay, normally women don't do that, but because women don't do that, nobody would do that. We put in a law that if somebody in the future, in 3 years, in 5 years, somebody say, oh, I want to do this stuff after this crazy time. Now, you can think anything about this, but I think there are other solutions. Probably, for example, you cannot keep this baby. I understand. Stuff happen. This baby should not have been conceived in the first place, probably, or stuff happen in a person's life. I understand. But you're going this late stage, and just disregard what I think earlier stage, but at this late stage, you're going through this stuff. You're probably going to deliver the baby anyway. Let's do things. Deliver this baby alive, and then they give it to charity, give it to the state, give it to us. I don't know. We're doing something all together through taxes, taxpayers, or whatever, or charities or donation. And let's give the chance to this baby to go ahead at this point. And you can go on with your life, and probably we will, even as a state, as a taxpayer, help you to go on your life without the trauma of having delivered this baby. So don't worry. That's my opinion. The bottom line is that discussing about baby are suppressed after birth, before birth, doesn't matter, because 1 minute before birth is no difference that 1 minute after. So, and understand the president candidate is trying to defend the reproductive health and the reproductive right of women, because I understand reproductive organs health, reproductive decision that men and women especially, because women have this big task, big gift of giving birth. Not everybody wants to do, and when they want to do, they need to have the ability to do it. But this is again aborting baby at this stage is not reproductive health or right anymore, because okay, they say it's my body, my choice, so this thing is inside me, so I decide. It's like I have a child in my house. No, you're my child, you live in my house, so I can decide of life or death about you. I don't think it's the way it works. And besides, I mean, with abortion, it's called reproductive right or reproductive freedom. I don't see anything reproductive in abortion. It's the opposite anyway.